You can tell someone that you're not okay with something, that you don't like the way that they do something without feeling like the bad guy. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. And one of the things that I get asked about very often, I've read like a bunch of questions even on my TikTok account. Hi, Dr. Jones. How do I tell so and so that I don't like when they do such and such? A hypothetical example, how do I tell my mother that I don't like when she comes over and takes my things, right? And I'm like, well, you just told me, right? Just say it just like you told me. And I get it. And what a lot of people have said in the comments and, on social media and written me personally is that, I don't want to feel like the bad guy. I don't want to hurt um, their feelings. I don't want to make them feel weird. And my question to you is, as opposed to what? As opposed to what exactly? As opposed to making you feel uncomfortable, so you want to shoulder the burden of you want to shoulder the emotional burden and the emotional labor. And sometimes we do this for people we don't even know. This happens a lot with dating. There's so many women, who stay quiet even when dating, when the person that they're dating, that they maybe even haven't even gone on one date with, right? They're just corresponding on the apps, or they're corresponding via text message or phone call, and that person says or does something that they're not okay with, but they stay quiet. It's never a good idea to stay quiet, especially in the beginning of a relationship. Remember, in the beginning of the relationship, there's little to no commitment to that. We don't know each other. I might never see you again, and that's not going to really stop me from carrying on with my day or with my life. And I don't say that to sound crass. I'm just saying that, like, don't invest so much in people when there's a low level of relational and emotional investment, right? We don't know each other. This might be our first interaction, but we might honestly, especially in today's dating climate, we might never interact again. So when you know that, then you need to operate accordingly. Like, oh, okay, that's when you need to be the most unfiltered. And you don't have to be nasty or rude about it. You could just say, you know what? I'm not okay with going 50-50 on a date, and if they wither away in the wind, that's fine. That's great. That's what you want them to do in the beginning, as opposed to getting 3 to 6 months down the road. And then, when there's a little bit more feelings, you guys may have interacted a little bit more. You might have met other people in each other's communities and things like that. You want to be able to detach quickly if you guys are not aligned. But so many people do it in the opposite. Like, I want to, stay quiet and try to attach. But even here's the thing, even if people like you, love you, and have an established relationship with you, you don't have to shrink yourself in order to make them feel better. And this is something that's very common with people who've been abused, people who've been abandoned, people who've been rejected, right? We feel like, hey, I can't rock the boat, because if I rock the boat, then they're going to leave. If I rock the boat, they're going to blow up on me. If I rock the boat, they're going to bring up how I did something back in '89 and now I'm a terrible person, or they're going to weaponize some sort of vulnerability that I've told them against me. And we lead with that with every relationship, uh without being aware of what we're doing. So, try to show up as authentically as you can, especially with strangers and people that you really maybe just only met. Lead with authenticity there. And that doesn't mean that you're being nasty, but just try to be your most authentic self. That will save you a lot of headache and heartache, and will let you know if the two of you are not aligned. If we don't, if I don't like the way you treat me, you don't like the way I treat you, vice versa. Because You don't want to get into the habit of like fawning and shrinking yourself and doing all of those things where you're now being a little bit disingenuous, but it's for the sake of, you know, keeping things copacetic with a person. And as far as with people that you know, that's going to be a little bit, that can be a little bit more challenging because there you have to be a little bit more firm and you can't be the sweet Betty that they've always known you to be. You do have to maybe be a little bit firm because family and close friends and people like that, they know how to push your buttons because they have that established relationships with you for many years in most cases, or in a lot of cases, I should say. So there, you may have to try a little bit of a different tactic. Hey, I don't like that, or I don't like when you come over, mom, and steal my things. Like I just bought that stuff. I'm not okay with that. Well, if you have a mother that's really, nasty, nice, nasty, right? Or really assertive, or really feels, there's certain mothers that feel like, oh, you're my child. And so because you're my child, I own you. And if you have a mother like that, she can feel like entitled to all of your things and all aspects of your life, no matter what you tell her. So that's when you take it to the next step like, okay, well, now there's consequences for you not respecting that boundary that I put in place. So I now have to remove access from you. So if you can't come over without stealing my things, then you just can't come over. And you're not allowed in my space because I have a particular way that I want to protect my home, feel safe in my home, and have myself in my home be respected. So I hope that kind of paints a picture. I wanted to kind of give some clear cut examples. And, I know I gave a couple in there, but I hope that makes sense and that you guys were able to follow along very carefully. So please be sure to like, comment, and give me a follow if you like this. I'm sure you'll like the other content as well. And be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. And that's where I'll be talking about coaching and group coaching and things like that are becoming available. So thank you guys so much and take care and have a great Friday.